Dear students, I am Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Government First Grade College, Shira, Tumkur District. The topic of today's lecture is the study of housefly as an important mechanical vector. So this comes under paper 4, that is insect vectors and diseases, DSC 4th semester zoology, Tumkur University. As all of you know that the housefly acts as a mechanical vector. Okay, so it transmits the disease causing agent from one place to the another place. As these houseflies are present living everywhere, since they are cosmopolitan in distribution and they are peridomestic in nature, they are very much present near the human habitations. Since they are present both in the environment as well as in the residential homely environment, so they frequently transfer the disease causing agents or the pathogens from outside the houses into the houses, where it carries the disease causing agent from the different the habitations, like the dead organic waste, okay, and other the waste which are present in the environment. Okay, they usually they carry the pathogens from the body parts, itself. Okay, so once they sit on our food, naturally these disease causing agents, they enter into the food naturally. So when we feed on that particular food, the pathogen enters into our body. Okay, we need to practice the wash of hands very frequently before eating the food. And sometimes, so it whenever it sits on the water, so it contaminates the water with the disease causing agent. Okay, so when the water is contaminated with the pathogens, then also the disease is being transmitted. Okay, so in this way it acts as mechanical vector. So here it will not allow the disease causing agent to undergo further development. It will not allow the pathogen into the body, but only the transmission is through only the body surface. Okay, from one place to the another place, so that the individuals are naturally affected. The housefly, that is Musca domestica, commonly called as housefly, is a fly of suborder Cyclorhabda. It is the most common fly species found in the natural habitations. Adult insects are greyish or black with 4 dark longitudinal lines. This is another important distinguishing feature as far as the housefly is concerned. The adult housefly on the back side, okay, so there is a grey to black with 4 dark longitudinal lines are present on the body. They have red eyes as a sensory structures, and the females are slightly larger than the males. Females are quite larger. The female housefly usually only mates once and stores the sperm for later use. Okay, the female housefly usually only mates once during its lifetime and stores the spermatozoa in the receptacle. So these stored spermatozoa are used later on to fertilize the eggs. It lays batches of about 100 eggs in decaying organic matter such as the garbage and feces. These soon after the eggs are released into the environment, okay, so these eggs hatches into the legless white maggots. Legless white maggots, which after about 2 to 5 days of development, they transform into a reddish brown pupae. Okay, so this pupae about excuse me, 8 millimeters in length. Adult flies normally live for about 2 to 4 weeks. The lifespan of the adult flies are about 2 to 4 weeks, but can hibernate during the winter in order to come out of these environmental extremities during the winter extremes of cold temperature. Okay, so in order to come out of with this winter situation, they undergo the hibernation. Adult houseflies grows up to 8 to 12 millimeters in length. The thorax is greyish in color, sometimes even black, with 4 longitudinal dark lines on the back side. The whole body is covered with hair-like projections. Sensory hairs are present. The females are slightly larger than males and have much larger space between their red compound eyes. These are the distinguishing features, and sexual dimorphism is also present in the housefly. The adults feeds on variety of liquids, semi-liquid substances, besides solid materials which have been softened by saliva. Not only feeds on the liquid and semi-liquid components, but it also feeds on solid substances. Before feeding on the solid substances, they usually they releases the saliva on the solid substances so that it becomes liquefied. The liquid food ultimately it will be feeded. They carry pathogens on their body surface, on their bodies and their in their feces, and can contaminate the food and contribute to the transfer of foodborne diseases or the illnesses. They carry the pathogens from body parts, okay, like legs, the abdomen, the head antennas, okay, like this, okay. So it carries the pathogens from one place to the another place. Usually the pathogens are carried from outside environment to the houses where the food substances are present and watery substances are present. So those are getting contaminated by sitting on that particular area, so that the water and food get contaminated. When we feed on these, the contaminated the food and water, naturally the disease-causing agent, the pathogen, enters into our body. So this is what is called as mechanical transmission of the pathogen or the parasite into the body, and here the vector is the housefly Musca domestica. As far as the disease transmission is concerned, the housefly as a vector can transmit the infectious agents from one place to the another place, or from one individual to the another individual, without permitting an infectious agent to undergo further development. This is important. Why it is called as mechanical transmission? Why it is not called as biological transmission? This is very important. Okay. So here we are discussing housefly as an important mechanical vector. Mechanical transmission here refers to it permits an infectious agent, so it transmits the infectious agent from one place to the another place, or from one individual to another, without permitting the infectious agent to undergo further development as such. Okay, so it will transmit the disease causing agent or the pathogen from one place to the another place as such. That's it. Okay, it will not allow at any cost or during at any circumstances, it will not allow the disease causing agent to undergo further development. Okay, so this kind of transmission, this mode of transmission of pathogen is called as mechanical transmission. They can serve as a in this context, the housefly Musca domestica serves as a vehicle. It acts as a middleman. Okay, it serves as a vehicle whereby the infectious agent is conveyed from one host to the another without undergoing a stage of development or multiplication. So this is known as the mechanical transmission. The housefly may cause disease in humans and the animals, including the typhoid, cholera, bacillary dysentery, tuberculosis, anthrax, and also diarrhea. The pathogenic organisms are picked up by the flies from garbage, sewage, and other sources and then transferred on their mouth parts through their vomitus, feces, and contaminated external body parts to the humans and also the animal food. The most important damage related to this insect is the annoyance and the indirect damage produced by the potential transmission of more than 100 pathogens associated with this fly. So in this way of mechanical transmission, the housefly can able to transfer or transmit more than 100 different kinds of pathogens from one place to the other place, from one individual to the other individual, so that it causes diseases in human beings as well as the animals. The most important damage related to with this insect is the annoyance. The same, okay. So that the indirect damage produced by the potential transmission of more than 100 pathogens associated with this fly. So this slide clearly shows how the disease causing agent or the pathogens are being carried and transferred from one place to another place, so that the animals and the human beings are usually affected where the pathogen enters into the body. So as a consequence, both animals and human beings are affected. More than 100 in this way, more than 100 different kinds of pathogens are being transmitted from one place to the another place, from one individual to another individual, and in this way the housefly acts as one of the important mechanical vector in order to transmit the more than 100 disease causing agents. So this is all about the Musca domestica housefly, how it acts as a mechanical vector in order to transmit the disease causing agent from one place to the another place. These are the reference materials along with the links. Dear students, this is the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. The second wave is being operating now. Take precautions, wash your hands frequently using the soap, and sanitize your hands, wear face covering or face mask, maintain physical distance of at least 2 meters between the individuals. Stay home, stay safe, save lives. Thank you.